Con nuestra misión de informar a la comunidad, vamos a seguir haciendo las entrevistas con los candidatos para la alcaldía de Kenner. Y hoy nos encontramos con Walt Bennetti, que es uno de los 3 candidatos que están buscando el puesto de Mayor of Kenner. And so we're switching to English to speak to you. Thank you so much for being here, Mr. Bennetti.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate the opportunity to speak to your audience.
Well, and that's what we want. We want to inform the audience. We want people to make an informed decision as to who's going to be their next mayor of the city of Kenner. And before we dive into that, I would like for people to know a little bit about your background. Tell us what your work experience has been and, yeah, what kind of jobs you've done so far.
Well, a lot of my work experience has been in the media. I've hosted a radio talk show. I've worked in print and online. I founded the first website for Jefferson Parish after Hurricane Katrina, focused on the recovery of Jefferson Parish and on Kenner. I've also hosted the first Jefferson Parish talk show, again focused on Jefferson Parish issues and the city of Kenner. I've also worked in the convenience store industry. I ran a 3-state area for Racetrack Petroleum. That was about $56 million in annual revenue. And I also work with restaurants as a marketing advertising consultant. And I had an accident in 2012 and I was disabled for several years and am permanently disabled.
Okay, but you've ran for mayor of Kenner before?
Yes.
When was that?
I ran for mayor in 2014, and I never thought I would run for political office again, but I have not seen the kind of progress that I thought we would in Kenner under Mike Glazer. When Mike Glazer was elected, I was hopeful that things would change. I was hopeful that he would do the things that he said he would do. And I have not seen that. We still have a lot of the same issues that we had 4 years ago, a lot of the same issues that we had 12 years ago.
Let's talk about those issues that you think are priority for the city of Kenner that you want to focus on.
Well, my focus is on bringing transparency to Kenner government. We have a lot of no-bid, non-emergency contracts that go to campaign contributors. I'm not accepting any money from any campaign contributor because I want the people of Kenner to know that every contract that we do will be in their best interest and not in the interest of a campaign contributor. We also have issues at the Kenner Fire Department that we thought would change once Kenner passed the $7.5 million millage increase. We have not seen that. We see Kenner firefighters leaving every month to go to Jefferson Parish or St. Charles or other departments for better pay, better working conditions, better equipment, and better leadership. We also have issues with Kenner Recreation. Mike Glazer has leased out our gyms to for-profit companies and have locked out our residents and stopped our kids and our adults from using our playgrounds, our gyms, and our facilities. We need to turn that around. We also need to focus on economic development. One of my primary roles will be as the economic development manager for the city of Kenner. Right now, we cede that to JEDCO. JEDCO is a resource. They work for the entire parish. I will work exclusively for the city of Kenner, and we will start turning things around. My plan for the Esplanade is that the city of Kenner government will buy the Esplanade instead of Jefferson Parish. We will control the second largest tract of land in Kenner. We will move city government back to the Macy's building and provide the initial foot traffic so we can bring in additional retail and restaurants. But also within that building, we can have other offices, we can have additional housing. I would prefer senior living. But the plan is, once developers see that we are committed as a city to the Esplanade, they will take us seriously and they will provide plans to repurpose the Esplanade. We can take those to the city residents and say, here's what we think is best, what do you think? And we can repurpose the Esplanade and turn that back into commerce quickly. If Jefferson Parish buys the Esplanade, it will be a pile of dirt for 8 or 10 or 15 years while they do study after study after study. We can turn the Esplanade around quickly, bring in property taxes, bring in new business, bring in sales taxes, and create jobs all at the same time.
What about those businesses that are already established in the city of Kenner? How do you plan to help them out to have a greater economy?
I speak to business owners every day. I know a lot of the issues that they're facing. One issue that new businesses have is that they don't have access to Kenner purchasing. They don't know what Kenner needs or how they can get involved. When someone applies for an occupational license, they will be given a packet when I'm mayor of information on how they can start the process of getting Kenner contracts. Like I said, I'm not accepting money from Kenner contractors now, so I'm not beholden to them. I want every Kenner business to participate. In addition to, as I said, my primary role being in economic development and attracting new businesses, I want to retain our current businesses and I want to retain our current jobs. We also need to diversify Kenner's economy. We have the airport in our backyard. We have I-10 and Airline Drive running through us. We have railroads. We should be a transportation logistics hub. We can bring in those higher paying jobs to Kenner. 40% of Kenner jobs are in low paying retail, hospitality, and low paying healthcare. We've obliterated our middle class. We have to rebuild the middle class. We have to give them a reason to live and spend their money in Kenner. And I will do that. But I will work with all Kenner businesses. I want every Kenner business to thrive. One of the issues I have with Mike Glazer is that entire neighborhoods and entire areas of Kenner have been neglected. South Kenner has been completely neglected by the Glazer administration, and we need to turn that around. Upper Williams, between Airline and I-10, we need to focus on all areas of Kenner, not just North Kenner.
And speaking about these neighborhoods and residents of the city of Kenner have expressed that there is like a major concern about aging infrastructure. What's your take on that?
We need more money. And the issue with that, and one of the primary things that makes me different than Mike Glazer, is that we need to prioritize infrastructure. Our roads are crumbling. Our streets flood. University City, a heavily Latino populated area, floods repeatedly. There are things that we can do and steps that we can take immediately. A few years ago, after Hurricane Francine, I brought up at a council meeting, why aren't we, as a city, using portable pumps to pump out water from areas that repeatedly flood? Mike Glazer doesn't want to do that. Other cities have contracts or they've purchased portable pumps to help alleviate that problem and clear our streets quickly. Mike Glazer wants to rebuild Kenner City Hall at 1801 Williams Boulevard, where it was. That will cost tens of millions of dollars. We can move into the Macy's building using state money or federal money and possibly some money of our own. We could set up a separate taxing district, and we would move into the Macy's building. That would cost us about $3 million. We can use the excess money that we would receive from FEMA or insurance that Mike Glazer wants to put towards a new city hall into infrastructure, into drainage, into recreation, and into the Kenner Fire Department. That's my plan.
Okay. And you mentioned the Latino population, and there has been other concerns by other candidates regarding how the Latino population has been mistreated by the city of Kenner, especially talking about that 287G program and the ICE, the immigration pursuit of illegal residents in the city of Kenner, which has hurt the entire population. What's your belief, or what do you think could be different regarding that?
Well, as you know, if you've spoken with the other candidates, 287G is a federal program with the Kenner Police Department, not with the mayor of Kenner. Unlike the city of New Orleans, where the police chief is appointed and works for the mayor, Kenner has an elected police chief. As mayor, I can give him my opinion, and I will, certainly. He can take that or leave that. That's up to him. I was disappointed because I think Mike Glazer has a lot more pull as the former police chief with the current police chief. He has much more influence than I do. As a resident of Kenner and as a citizen of the United States, I have issues with 287G. And the issues that I have, when it was installed, I got calls from several teachers, particularly at Tom Benson Elementary, which again has a heavy Latino population. They were in tears because children weren't going to school. Parents weren't letting children go to school because they were afraid that if their children came home, they might not be there. No child should have to live in that and go through that. That tore me up. They called me, what can I do? How can I help them? It's a difficult situation. I've said, and I will continue to say, that I don't believe that any person, no matter where they're from, should be arrested, detained, deported because of a traffic violation. We all want criminals out of Kenner. We want them out of our country. But misdemeanors, traffic violations, no, we need to draw the line somewhere. And as mayor, I would hope that Kenner would be a welcoming city to everyone, and also embrace different nationalities and different populations. We are a diverse city. There's no doubt about that. But no one, like I said, should be arrested, detained, separated from their families, deported, because their tail light doesn't work.
And speaking about that diversity in Kenner, and you mentioned transparency and how you want to bring transparency to the mayor's office, how do you plan on including those minority and those people from other from the population to have a seat at the table to be able to have input into the decisions that the administration does?
Well, if anyone in Kenner has followed me for the last 20 years, I have always stood up for the people of Kenner, regardless of what neighborhood they live in or what nationality they are or what color they are. I've stood up when mayors have tried to close playgrounds in Lincoln Manor and Butch Dewey and Buddy Lawson. I've stood up when the Jefferson Parish School Board tried to close Washington Elementary in South Kenner. I don't live in South Kenner. I never went to school there. It's a historic school, though, and I believe that Kenner needed Washington Elementary. We were lucky enough to get that closing delayed for a year to give families an opportunity to adjust to moving their children. We weren't able to get the closing stopped, but I have always stood up for the people of Kenner, and I always will. I focus, and I've said repeatedly, we need to start moving all of Kenner forward together. Not just certain areas, not just campaign contributors, not just the political machine and the bigwigs. I want to focus on all of Kenner, and I will be the mayor for all of Kenner.
And on that note, if a voter is still undecided, what would you tell them why they should vote for you?
You should vote for me because you have a choice. You can vote for the political machine of Mike Glazer. You can continue with Kenner's stagnant economy, or you can vote for a new vision. I think I bring that. I've never been elected to any position. I've never been appointed to any political position. But I've followed government closely for the last 20 years. And if you look at all of the issues, I have been on the side of the people of Kenner. That's what matters to me, not who I can help or looking for my next job or moving to the parish or moving to Baton Rouge or to Washington. I want to fix Kenner, and I want to fix Kenner now, and we can do that.
Thank you so much for coming here to talk to our audience. Anything else that we didn't mention that you would like to add?
My website is Walt, W-A-L-T, 4, Kenner.com. I'm on Facebook. You can reach out to me. I'm happy to speak speak with anyone. I held a meet and greet last week at Cafe Tomas, and was very happy about that, and I want to do more. Part of the problem I have with Kenner and Kenner government now is they don't listen to the people. They don't reach out, and I will reach out, and you will have a voice when I'm mayor of Kenner.
Thank you so much, Mr. Bennetti, for being here, and we'll wish you good luck in the election.
Thank you again for having me. Early voting starts May 2nd through the 9th, and Election Day is May 16th. Get out and vote, whether you support me or you support one of my opponents. It's important that you vote, because you can change Kenner.
Bueno, y estas fueron las palabras de Walt Bennetti aquí en nuestro estudio de Viva Nola, donde les recuerda a todos que lo más importante es que salgan a votar por el candidato que ustedes crean que es el correcto para ustedes, pero que ejerciten su derecho y su responsabilidad de votar. Los dejamos. Muchas gracias por estar con nosotros.